Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of your OGR, as today we got Game 2 as the Edmonton Oilers went up against the Kings and walked away with a big victory as we finally ended our losing streak in the playoffs, as we have lost 7 in a row, and finally tonight we have broke that losing streak with an absolute flawless game against the Kings, where we score 6 unanswered goals. Mike Smith gets a big old shutout for the Edmonton Oilers, and we walk away with a massive dub. And did this game ever feel good? And if you guys were tuning into the live stream, which I would definitely recommend you do, I was playing La Bamba. I was singing a little bit of La Bamba, bum 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 during the end of the stream. It was a party last night, boys, because this team played amazing. We seen some depth scoring, which I didn't think we were gonna see. Evander Kane was popping off. We just honestly just played good throughout the entire game. There was a lot of good stuff to talk about here with the Edmonton Oilers. Puljujärvi got a goal. He got a little bit more ice time as well. There's just a lot of positives to talk about with this game. So let's just get right into this. But before I do, I'd like to just say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap that subscribe button and hit that like button as well, as that will be very much appreciated here, boys. So to start off the game, the Edmonton Oilers didn't really get off to too hot of a start against the Kings. The Kings were actually kind of outplaying us during that first period. They were all over us. It was making me kind of worried going into that first period. You know, we were already didn't play that great in the game against LA, which we did deserve to lose until Mike Smith screwed us, which we were worried about that might happen again, as Mike Smith was looking a little sketchy to start off this game. The Edmonton Oilers weren't looking too fantastic until the second period, where it all changed. The very first goal of the game, which we got a quick one, a minute 22 in, Leon Draisaitl with his second of the playoffs put an absolute laser past Jonathan Quick. Quick didn't even see it coming, as he got his second goal on the power play there and put up the Oilers 1-0 with an absolute lightning bolt. Says that one sent right past Quick. And then right after that, Darnell Nurse gets the Oilers a 2-0 lead, short-handed goal this time, as McDavid and Kane were dashing up. McDavid made a beautiful pass over to Nurse, and Nurse just sent it right past Quick with a beautiful snipe, and sent that one right past Quick to put the Oilers up 2-0. 2-0 to start the game off, or not really to start the game off, to start the period off. We're already off to an amazing start, and then Ryan McLeod adds another one, as the fourth line was able to get some offensive going. Cassian sent a great pass up to Bouchard, and a nice booch bomb, which McLeod was able to tip right into the back of the net to get his very first goal of his NHL playoff career. And that was the same for Darnell Nurse as well. That's his very first NHL playoff goal as well. So already hitting some big markers for those two young guys. Darnell Nurse is still technically pretty young as well. And then heading into the third period, Evander Kane threw out the Edmonton Oilers 4-0 with his first goal of the playoffs, which was a beautiful snipe. And then right after, actually, no, that was the one that Sean Durzi tipped right into the back of the net for the LA Kings for us. He basically assisted us. This one was a Hail Mary pass by Keith. It touched Kane, and then Durzi just slapped it, and it just went right into the back of the net, unfortunately for the LA Kings. And then right after that, Jesse Puljujärvi finally got a big goal for the Edmonton Oilers, as he put up the Oilers 5-0, giving us that big old lead. And this was just a few minutes into the third. Kane scored that one, and then 20 seconds later, McDavid set up Puljujärvi for a beautiful goal, and that one is a big one. And then right after that, Evander Kane got his second of the game, upon another power play goal, which was a beautiful snipe for Evander Kane to throw us up 6-0. And every time we scored, we got a bigger smile and a bigger smile and a bigger smile. And I was streaming with my boy Josh, which I would recommend go check him out. His link will be down in the description below. It was an amazing game. Every time we scored a goal, we got even more happier, and the way that we played was flawless. We played really well defensively. Mike Smith played really, really good during the second and third period. Even during the first period, he definitely made some big saves. Sure, he was out of position in some of those plays, but honestly, he played really good, especially during the second and third period when we started adding some offense. He simplified his game. He wasn't, doing these Hail Mary passes. He just simplified his game. He knew what he needed to do to get the Oilers back into the series, and now the series is tied up at 1 because of the fact that we played really well defensively, and we played really well offensively. And I give it to both the defensive core and the offensive core for playing really well defensively. McDavid, that line of Draisaitl, Hyman, and Yamamoto were crazy good defensively throughout the entire night, stick lifting everyone, back checking real hard. McDavid was just all over the place, hitting guys, and you could talk about that with mostly anyone. Zach Kassian was electric throughout the night for the Edmonton Oilers, and that's exactly what we wanted from Zach Kassian all fucking year, was just to him to bring that energy for the team, go out there and smash bodies all night, lay big hits, and maybe generate a little bit of offense. And that's what Zach Kassian did tonight. He went out there, banged some bodies, got some offense going for the Edmonton Oilers, and it was a big help. That's the thing that we want to see from this team is, just us bringing that energy, able to bang some bodies and go out there and play really well defensively. And that's what we simply did in this game. We didn't have too many bad defensive mistakes. We just overcrowded the LA Kings. We made Philip Deneau look like a peasant. We made Andrei Kopitar look like a nobody. I mean, Deneau was going up against mostly Draisaitl the entire night, but Draisaitl made him look like a fool. Draisaitl was dancing around him the entire night. Either that or McDavid was doing the exact same thing. And it was a crazy night offensively for the Edmonton Oilers. And now we got to, follow that up going in to game 3. That's a big thing for the Edmonton Oilers, is that we cannot just, we whooped their ass, and they're definitely going to be pushing back hard into game 3. So going into game 3, we got to do the exact same thing as what we did here, is bring our absolute A game going into the next one. So we did see a little bit of line changes in the lineup for this game as well, not too many. Fogle got bumped down to the 4th line to play alongside of McLeod and Kassian, and then Archibald got himself submitted into the lineup, which I wasn't a big fan of, and it wasn't a very good line in the first place. I thought that was probably one of the worst lines that we had between Nuge Ryan and Archibald. They didn't generate any offense at all, but I do give them this. They were pretty well defensively throughout the night. I do give them that. But 5-on-5, they just looked like they were jumbled all over the place. Like, they didn't really allow very much offense throughout the night. But it wasn't like the LA Kings were really pushing us anyways offensively. But that line was just, it didn't generate any offense. They really didn't get very many chances off. And even compared to what Fogle, McLeod, and Kassian did, they even generated a little bit more offense than what that third line did. And that's just the thing. When you build a third line like that and a fourth line like that, you're not going to be seeing any offense from that line. And we did get to see a goal, which is nice. That is an added cushion to that line. But the thing is, it's not going to be a line that generates a whole lot of offense. Most likely, it's going to play pretty well defensively, and they did. I do give them that. They did play very well defensively, so hopefully they continue to do that going into the next few games and continue to play really well defensively. And I can say that to the same to Hyman, Draisaitl, Yamamoto. Hyman had an amazing night. Few people were talking about him, and I do agree. Hyman had a really good night for the Edmonton Oilers. He was all over the place. He should have had a few points, but he didn't have any points throughout the entire night for the Edmonton Oilers, but he definitely deserved to have a few because he was really, really good throughout the night, generating a lot of offense there with Draisaitl and Yamamoto, and playing really well defensively as well. And then Kane, McDavid, Puljujärvi, they played really well as well. I think we could almost say that about just about any line. Every line's been playing really good. And let's talk about Yamamoto. I think this is one player I would like to highlight for this kind of playoff run that we're going on right now. Yamamoto has been really good. I want to just say that Yamamoto has been really, really good. Game 1, he had 2 points. Tonight, he didn't have any points, but he was back checking really hard, playing really well defensively. I think he was one of the best Oilers out there throughout the entire night because every time I seen him out there, he was stick checking, he was hitting, he was getting in the messy areas. He was playing simply really good throughout the entire night, and he was a really, really good player for the Edmonton Oilers. And honestly, if there's a player of the game that didn't score any points, it would definitely go to Yamamoto because he had just a crazy night both defensively and generating some good offensive opportunities for the Edmonton Oilers as well. Heading into the defensive pairings, Keith and Bouchard had a pretty good night. They didn't really make too many mistakes. They didn't generate a whole lot of offensive opportunities, but for the one shot there from Bouchard. But they simply played really well defensively. I didn't really notice any, big mistakes that they made. Kulak, Barry, same thing, really well defensively. I thought they were one of our better defensive pairings. And then Nurse and Ceci had a great offensive night for Darnell Nurse. Same with Cody Ceci, he did all right too. Both of them generated a pretty good amount of offensive opportunities. Didn't play that amazing defensively, but still wasn't too bad compared to everyone else. So honestly, great night here for the Edmonton Oilers. We played amazing. We got a big dub. Mike Smith was amazing. But now the big deciding point is how we do in game 3. If we fall down in the series 2-1, that's definitely not ideal and definitely not what we want. So going into game 3, we got to do the exact same thing as what we did here, but we know the Kings are going to push back, so we have to bring it even better going into game 3. But for now, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Tell me, guys, in the comment section below how you guys thought of the game, because honestly, this game was absolutely entertaining. So I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Adios, amigos.